Hello again, my fellas and fellettes. We are continuing on with Murder Drones Week, and today, with just 2 days left before the finale, or actually, no, 1 day when this video goes up, I will be talking about every single character and ranking them from worst to best. However, here are my criteria. First of all, they need to have more than one episode of screen time, which eliminates the likes of Alice, for example. She only got one episode, so the likes of Alice or Bo will be disqualified. They must also have at least one leading role, which also eliminates the likes of Rebecca, who may have appeared in both The Promenade and Cabin Fever, but she played a critical part in neither. So with that being said, let's get on with the ranking, shall we? So, the criteria that I laid out leaves the following characters remaining. Uzi, N, V, J, Tessa, Sin, Doll, the Absolute Solver. I'm not counting Sin, since she was literally just like a vessel. We don't actually know her character. Lizzie, Thad, Nori, Khan. So, let's get into the list, shall we? So, that is about 11 characters. So, coming in at number 11 is Lizzie. She is my personal least favorite character. Like, she seems to me like the typical, popular girl trope with a bit of extra in there. Like, I don't hate her as much as I used to, but she's still probably my least favorite out of everyone we have lined up for today. So, that's about all I have to say on her. So next up we have Tessa. Now, her ranking would probably be higher if episode 7's reveal never happened. But since it turned out that the Tessa we saw in episodes 3, 5, 6, and 7 were Sin all along, we will not be including her in the ranking, into her placement. To what she does have already is pretty good. She has her good moments, and I like that they show that she's willing to actually stand up to Sin when she's literally about to murder everybody. So yeah, she's a good character all around. Shame that we didn't get to see more of her, but anyways, next up at number 9 is Nori. I probably should have put her at number 12 simply because she's a Newsy hater. In all seriousness, though, she's not a terrible character. I'm actually a pretty good fan of Nori's character. I like that she doesn't want to tell Uzi that she's alive because she personally blames herself for all the trash that Uzi has had to go through because she wasn't there for her. And I like everything that happened back in the Cabin Fever labs. That's some good backstory. And, yeah, she also did a pretty good role in the episode 7 fight scene where she and N fought Sin, Uzi, I don't know. Anyways, next up after her is Thad. He's a pretty good character in all honesty. He has some good moments. For instance, I'd say his best appearance was episode 2, Heartbeat. It may not be my favorite episode, far from it, but he's definitely my favorite character in that episode. No, not my favorite character in the episode, but it's his best showing. You know what I mean? He ventures out of the colony knowing that there's literal genocide robots hunting them down just to give Uzi a railgun back and tell her what's going on back at the colony. So, yeah, he's a pretty likable character all around, and I can't wait to see what they do with him in episode 8. Although, honestly, something about his character in episode 7 just seemed kind of off. I don't know what it was. I think it's this scene.
And it's not about football.
Okay. Does your secret friend want to know about football, or...?
I don't know what it is about that scene, but something about what Dad is like in that scene just doesn't feel right. I don't think that talking about football would be his first priority while the world is literally collapsing around him. Maybe I'm the idiot, but that's just my personal take. I feel like that's kind of out of character for him at this point. So, anyways, moving on, we have Khan. yeah, he didn't have the best starting, abandoning, leaving his daughter to die. But, yeah, he did get better as time went on. Honestly, in between the first episode, Like, I feel like he got a lot better, specifically in episodes 4 and 7. In episode 4, he was, like, willing to help Uzi, solve this problem, pun intended. And, in episode 7, he's just straight up good. Like, he's gotten a lot better as time has gone on. Like, I like how he's not just talking about doors. Like, he knows the situation, he knows it's serious, and he knows that he has to do something. So, he's definitely getting better. Let's hope they can keep that trajectory going into episodes 8. Anyways, next up on our list is Jay. She's a decent character. She was the main antagonist of the first episode. Although, after that, she's mostly been delegated to supporting roles, like, or just a straight-up background character. Like, she had a cameo at the end of episode 3. She wasn't even in episode 2, it was just her eldritch corpse. She wasn't in episode 4 either. In episode 5, she was pretty good in it. I'd say it's her second best showing, although that's not saying much. In episode 6, she didn't have really much of anything. Although, in episode 7, she did have a bit of something, but not a lot. Although, it does seem like in episode 8, she's going to have a lot more, and her ranking will probably go up at least a little bit. So, let's move on to number 5, which is the Absolute Solver. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, oh, it's a program, not a character. Well, I'm counting it as a character, okay? It speaks, it has a role in the series, and, it seems to have it does have a lot of sentience to it. And it's honestly a very good villain, It has, like, the clear motives to just go nom-nom on every planet it sees, and it has, like, understandable motives, like it hated humanity because they treated it horribly, and she does seem to... It does seem to be somewhat merciful. Sorry, I keep saying she, but I'm confusing the Absolute Solver with Sin. But it does seem to be somewhat merciful because it doesn't kill Ed, and it actually wipes his memory so he won't remember it. Because, that'd probably be pretty traumatizing if he were to remember it. Like, probably not the way to approach it, but I feel like it does have, like, some heart, even if it's not much, considering it immediately scrapped him once he served his purpose. Anyways, next up is V at the number 4 spot. Now, just be aware, I'm not counting intermission into this. If I did, she'd probably be number 3, or hell, maybe even number 2. But, yeah. V is definitely one of my favorite characters for a lot of reasons. First of all, she has the tragic backstory. Her personality is great both like in modern day and in the past. So that's cool. And also, I love the design of... Can I just take a sec to... Like, I love the little design they have for all the past versions of the murder drones. Like, they're so nice. But anyways, moving on from that... Now there's also the fact that she's, a crazy killer robot, and she does still care about people, like in episode 2, when she can easily escape, but chooses not to kind of comfort N, and probably also try to get him along with her plan that she had in episode 3, but that's besides the point. And then there was also episode 6, and, we both know what happened there. And, by the way, I swear to God, Liam, if you bring V back in episode 8 and basically remove the entire emotional aspect of her death, I'm going to freak out. Anyways, my third favorite character has to go to Uzi. Uzi is, she's a great character, to say the least. I think her best showing was also in episode 4. And I like how they portray, like, her insecurity, pun intended, and how she's scared that she'll lose her only friends and possible romantic interest. But, yeah, she was pretty good towards the start of the series. I'd say about a 7 out of 10 character in the pilot. But nowadays, definitely a 10. And, she, like, her sacrifice at the end of episode 7 really did sell even though it's, judging by the trailers and the teasers and all that, I doubt it's going to actually, like, be her death. Although she might die in episode 8. According to my predictions, she might. Please don't make that happen, Liam. I am literally, I'm not literally, but I am metaphorically on my knees right now. But anyways, my number 2 spot has to go to N. Like, he was originally my favorite character, but honestly, in modern days, like, he's still an amazing character, don't get me wrong, but he's no longer my favorite character, I'd say. But he is still amazing, like, although I feel like a lot of fan media portrays him, like, incorrectly. Like, they either make him way too wholesome or way too, like, dark. Like, he's kind of like a perfect mixture of those two. Like, he's like a happy-go-lucky kind of character, or like sometimes. But when situation calls for it, he can be serious, and like people do tend to forget that he is a literal genocide robot. But despite that, he's a very wholesome genocide robot. I really like, he has some good moments, especially when in episode 4 when he helps with Uzi's problems. But yeah. Anyways, that's about all I have to say on him. Now on to my number 1 favorite character, Serial Designation S from the Film Theory episode. Just kidding, it's Doll. But anyways, here, let me explain for you real quick why Doll is such a good character to me. So, we can skip over the first 2 episodes since, she didn't really have anything to do in those episodes. Actually, no, let's hang on to episode 2 for a bit. It's made clear from that episode that she has some kind of vendetta against V, and you can easily piece together from her line, "Dead, I watched them die," in reference to her parents, and this vendetta she has towards V, that V killed her parents, which is confirmed in the next episode, and in which she proceeds to have one of, if not the best fight scene in the entire show. And, yeah, that was a pretty good start off for her character. Then she makes a minor cameo in episode 4, no speaking lines. And then she doesn't have another major role. Then she has another major role in episode 5, in which she tries to take the key bug and succeeds. And then in episode 6, she does her whole thing and gets V killed. Hip hip hooray for her. And then she proceeds to have what I consider the most tragic death in the series. Now, it may not seem like that, especially compared to V, but, well, hear me out, alright? So, she was searching for the crucifix to, solve her problem of the absolute solver, because, she didn't want to be used as a puppet to, destroy the entire universe with it. But, unfortunately for that plan, she was already patched of it because she got that from her mother. So she was literally searching for a goal she had already obtained, but didn't know it, even in death. So, yeah, pretty tragic death. Like, she has a good backstory, solid character writing, epic fight scenes, tragic death, and a pretty menacing presence all around. I'd say she's the best character in the show for me, so I'll see you around tomorrow. And then after that, I will finally get to see you after episode 8. Toodles!